Thank you.
Why are we
User
being
left
I
your
recorded?
forgot.
channel.
I forgot. I was going to do the recording myself, so it's okay. I just had forgot. So thank you, whoever started recording. At the end of this meeting today, we will have several promotions to do. Don't expect anybody to jump more than one rank, so no one get their panties in a bunch. Some of the things that Church is going to be able to assist us with, and I'll pass it over to him very shortly here, is getting a proper procedure on how to train and, more importantly, interview and make decisions on hiring new staff members, because that's some of the duties that were fulfilled by a lot of the staff members that had submitted letters of resignation. So to move forward, those duties will need to be passed to other staff members. So we are going to take care of addressing that, and Church will be assisting with getting the current breach staff members trained on how to do such things.
So, can someone please tell me? I've been asking multiple people, no one's ever answered. Like, what happened originally that made us have to relocate ourselves from TeamSpeak?
That'll likely be explained from Ripper eventually.
There was a disagreement between Bonfire and some of the other senior breach staff members that happened over the weekend with senior staff members at the executive level within the Last Bastion gaming community. And as a result of that, we've got several resignations. That's pretty much the gist of all you need to know. The meeting today is meant to focus on the future and what we're going to do going forward.
And also, since you said that more of the responsibilities that used to be placed on those senior admins will not be placed on us lower ranks.
I did not say that explicitly. We do have a coup in the senior admin rank. Nikki is currently MIA. So we do have several admins and senior admins, of which may or may not be getting promoted tonight, and at which point can then assist in the recruitment process even more than they were before. I see we have several applications, and I am aware that all of you staff members have been soliciting our players to apply, and that is definitely something I would encourage and is definitely a way that we will be able to thrive. I'll go ahead and hand it over to Church so we can talk about what he has to say.
All right. Well, good evening to the SCP staff. I know some of y'all are speaking to me for the first time, so nice to meet you all.
Hi.
Over the past couple of days, we've had some stuff going on at the executive level. For those of you who may have been privy to it, it was unfortunate. It's all now behind us. So what I will say is, let us wipe the slate clean on both sides. Forget any past grievances and move forward from here. As Sully said, it's focus on the future. LB is a wide community. It's not focused on any one server. It's not focused on any one group of people. It's meant to be a welcoming place for all people, all game modes. We've even expanded to different games. It's meant to be a hub, and one of the points I like to throw out early is that there will be conflicts. There will be clashing personalities. That is something that is always going to happen. It will happen. How we get past those conflicts is what defines us as a community. Whether we're willing to put aside differences for the sake of what we're here to do, or we would like to hold on to grudges. Grudges will get us nowhere. So I'd like to officially say welcome. I'm aware that you all would have been told to read the Constitution of the Last Bastion Gaming. For those of you who have not read it or have never seen it, here's a link. Is anybody just a question? Has anybody seen this for the first time?
This is my first time.
I'm pretty sure I've never seen this before.
Yes, my first time too.
Okay. Another thing I want to say is that unfortunately there has been an atmosphere of segregation. people have been saying, well, it's SCP and the rest of Last Bastion Gaming. It's a very unfortunate dilemma. Why? Because we're not separate. We're all part of the same community. If we go out there, when I go out there, I represent all of Last Bastion Gaming. I represent you. I represent your players. I don't represent myself and the other servers that we own. And I'd like if we could step away from that mode of thinking and think that, okay, I've joined one of the what is considered one of the biggest and most premier Gmod servers or communities out right now. And I'll give you a little insight into just how highly regarded Last Bastion is. The G Nexus is something that was formed recently. It is consisted of some of the biggest servers across Gmod of all game modes. Icefuse is one of them. We are not just regular members. Last Bastion Gaming, we're founding members. We were instrumental in forming that coalition, and that's a big thing, right? So I just want you all to have an idea of just what you're a part of, what you're working to uphold, what you're working to keep going. It's not just some fly-by-night server that's doing things and picking it up as we go. So he has tons of experience. I have tons of experience. The whole executive staff team have tons of experience. So what I like to say is, please put your trust in us and just be willing to work with us to overcome any problems you will have and to keep these servers going. I don't think that's too much to ask. Do you all think I'm asking too much of you?
No.
No?
Not at all.
It sounds fair,
No.
right?
It's fair.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right. So yeah, let's focus on the Constitution now. As a staff member of Last Bastion Gaming, you're all bound by this Constitution. If you have not done your oath yet, we will organize to have that done hopefully by the end of the week. Everybody has to record themselves reading the oath. Now, I understand there may be some of you, for some reason, that may have a problem with that. I want you to understand two things. One, this oath is not legally binding. It is not legally binding. Nothing in this Constitution is legally binding. You can't get in trouble. Nobody could come to your house. Nothing could happen to you. This is just a moral code, something to bind you to the ethics of Last Bastion Gaming morally, so that if something goes wrong, and you're found in breach of one of our rules or something that might harm the community, we could hold you accountable because you would have agreed to abide by these rules. So don't think of it as anything too serious. Essentially, is what I'm saying.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
And by hold accountable, you mean just like have like a chance of being kicked off the team, or what do you mean accountability?
Not let's not go to the extreme. So what I mean by accountability is, let's say for instance, and I'm gonna pick a name at random here. Bajala gets on the server one day and he's been having a bad day, and he thinks that he just wants to get on and mess around today, and he accidentally oversteps his boundary and does something that is found destructive to the community. So he would have to be brought up to find out exactly what's going on. What we would do is we would say, hey, Bajala, take a look at the Constitution. Here's the rule that you broke. And on this day of this month, you agreed to abide by these rules. And essentially, you would have to agree or accept that you understood the rules and that essentially you're breaking a rule that you know about. And we can't have that here at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's
is
not
just an
that you're gonna
example,
get.
correct?
It is just an example.
Okay,
You're the
I was
only
like-
one of the staff teams that I actually know, so that's why I picked you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, the people who have seen the Constitution, please click the link again, as it has been revised, especially in particular the rules and guidelines section have been
Ooh.
revised
Oh yes,
so
it was
that
updated.
the roleplay rules do not apply or have been segregated out.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, that has
that's
actually been
nice.
done. Yeah, we actually have
Nice.
So I was gonna mention that somewhere at the end. But yeah, we have revised it. Sully mentioned that we should separate the rules. It's something that we've been meaning to do. So it's finally been done. Anyway, so yeah, what I was saying is that it's just so that we have some sort of order, some sort of accountability. Because at the end of the day, unfortunately, we would have some people trying to get onto the staff team, and at some point in time, they might just decide, hey, I'm not going to follow the rules anymore, and we need to have a constitutional way of addressing that issue. So it's not just, well, hey, you pissed off Servius, Servius decides it's a good idea to demote you. No. we're gonna go based on the Constitution. If you are in breach of the Constitution, here's what could happen. Here's why you need to follow the Constitution. So everybody understands. It's not don't think of it as a sword being held over your head. It's not that. It's to ensure everybody's safety and everybody's enjoyment. That's the at the end of the day, that's the purpose of it. Right? Any other questions on that?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'd like you all to read it. Specifically, I'd like you all to look at the executive staff. Now, this is important to you because these staff members are the ones that would be there to help you no matter what server you're in. So at the start of the executive staff, you have your director. Now, as far as I've been told by Sully, is we're not particularly planning on filling that position immediately. But I will say, if one of you happens to show that you're fully capable, promising, and able to take up the position, who knows? Sully might change his mind. It's happened in the past. So I don't want you all to think that there's a cap on your progression. There is not. I've had, moderators show promise, be trained, and pick up the rank of director before. So it can happen, It's all a matter of what you want to do, where you want to get in this community. So we have the chief technical officer, chief administrative officer, the chief operations officer, the CEO position, which is vacant, and then there's the owner. So you could read specifically what each position is required to do or mandated to do by the Constitution, as well as their powers. You could read it on your own time. I'm not going to waste too much time on this, but in a nutshell, something to do with TeamSpeak, something to do with website permissions, something to do with anything development-wise that your dedicated developers may not be able to solve. Anything to that effect would be handled by the technical officer. The administrative officer will assist and be instrumental in maintaining all your rosters, all documents pertaining to the community, anything to that effect. The operations officer is basically the person that deals with the running of the server day to day. So is there enough staff on the server right now? Do we need more staff? Do we need to hold off on recruiting? Do we need to speed up recruiting? Those kinds of things. What is going on with the server? Are people pissed off? Are people pleased? Do they want certain stuff done? Do they want stuff taken away? That kind of thing is what the operations officer would deal with. And then there's the owner who just basically ensure everything is working out. Now what you will notice in the Constitution on the where is it? On the chief operations officer, under powers, which is part 3, the chief operations officer may appoint an advisor to perform specific executive functions. Now, I just saw somebody asked about this. So basically, an advisor could be appointed by anybody of the rank COO and above to perform a function that is necessary. In this case, we had a couple positions open. One was CAO, one is COO. Were both vacant. So I appointed 2 advisors about 2 months ago now, Silvius. About 2 months you've been here. And they've been essentially assigned duties in the capacity of what they are hoping to, the position that they're hoping to get, to basically assess their competence, their drive, their willingness, everything to that effect. So think of it as like a pathway rank. If you want to be a director, but you're not essentially on head admin right now, you could become an advisor and be tested, trained, and all that good stuff. Any questions with that, advisors? Any questions? No. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay, so you were talking about if we needed more staff or if we had too much staff. How many staff members would you think would be considered too much?
To answer that question for Church, we don't cap the number of staff when it comes to staff and recruitment on the breach side of LB Gaming just because of the server type. So we're always going to be recruiting and seeking very good talent for the server.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
personally think we need more staff during the day. Like, at least my day, that is. Like, I usually only do 1 staff during that time. Hit is the only other one I see.
Well, we'll have to do an overall assessment of the times of the server and actually when the staff team is usually on. So we'll find the gaps, and I'll have to actually have a recruitment team assigned to actually actively fill that gap. That's the only way it's going to happen. Because at the end of the day, the server would be active at a certain, I guess, a certain time frame. Now, from what I've seen, statistic breaches almost always full of players, right? Whether it always has enough staff is a different thing. So we would definitely work on that. Ariel Pro? Is that
Permission to
yours?
Just call me Ariel. Ariel. is fine.
Ariel. Okay. Yeah, Bacha, what's up?
So we have a lot of applications right now,
Right.
which have not been replied to, and a lot of
Yeah.
them are good.
Mhm.
Who would be responsible for that? Because generally it makes sense to put someone like super high up, but
Yeah.
we also know the player base more. Like we know them. So
Well-
I'm just curious on how that all play in. I'm just wondering.
So at the end of the day, whether I'm gonna be overseeing anything, or Sully, or Servius, or Hotshot, or Tides, it's always gonna be that it's not that one person dealing with that particular issue at that point in time. So recruitment technically falls under the CEO's portfolio. However, we will appoint members of the breach team specifically to handle breach specific recruitment. Whether that ends up being moderators, or senior moderators, or admins, or trial, whatever, that would be done systematically. We would assign people, or you all could volunteer. We will assess you all, train you all on actual recruitment, and then you all would be the ones actually picking people. So that is something I'll go into depth with when we actually pick the recruitment team. So that's a very good question. If anybody's interested
I'd be
in,
intrigued by it.
okay, lovely. I'll take a note of that. So if anybody else is interested in actually focusing on recruitment, you can let me know, and I'll put you in on that I guess department, and we could get this recruitment going. Because as far as I'm concerned, for a server that has over 50 people, staff recruitment needs to be permanent. It needs to be an ongoing process that is constantly happening. Why? Because you have staff members that might join, leave, go AFK, go on holiday, so as Sully said, there's no cap. We're always going to be doing it. So there's that. I have been looking at the roster that you all currently have. I'm seeing a lot of assignments, and there's like caps, I guess, at the different levels. Saying how many people could be what, stuff like that. We're gonna probably need to revise this. When I say revise, we're not gonna change your system. Y'all are accustomed to this, obviously, but I could see some things that should be tweaked just to not create a top-down functionality. It basically means that I want to make sure that at all levels of staff that you all are always, I guess, operationally equipped enough to carry out the duties, so that you're not depending on a super admin being there all the time. You're not depending on a head admin or a director. Or you're not gonna say, well, okay, none of these XYZ seniors are around, so we can't do anything. I don't want it to be functioned or set up that way. I want to make sure that the staff period can function. One of the most important parts of that is communication. There is a very strained line of communication between the general breach population, I would say, and the rest of Last Bastion. When I say like rest of, I'm speaking specifically staff here. I'm not talking about players. I'm talking about staff. The executive staff, some of them have never met you all. You all have never met them. We need to bridge that gap. So what we're gonna use actually is Slack. Slack is gonna be the main form of communication for Last Bastion gaming. There's gonna be a general room, and Servius will talk about Slack in a bit, because he loves Slack. So I'll leave that up to him. But one of the things that we need to touch on is communication. Let me see. I might be going a bit off topic here. So the rules and guidelines, I want you all to look at that. There's general rules. There's roleplay specific. So ignore the roleplay specific. That doesn't apply to you. General rules, right? These rules are just things that we want to have in place for all staff, regardless of the server that you're on. And they're meant to be in such a way that they could be applied to any situation, essentially, right? give it a read. Make sure you understand. If you have any objections whatsoever, meaning you don't understand something, you don't agree with a certain rule, you don't think it should be there, you think it's too strict, anything like that, please come to me, come to Servius, come to anybody that you think could deal with it, and raise the issue. I don't want that you're seeing rules that you don't like, and then you just you just don't agree with it, and you're trying to function under something you're not agreeing with. That doesn't make sense. So off the bat, is there anything any of you don't agree with in the Constitution at all?
No, it seems.
Okay, lovely.
Seems reasonable.
I'll take silence as an agreement. If at any point, however, you all do see something, feel free to bring it up. There's no expiration date on that.
Church,
Yeah.
I have a quick question. If we're going to be transferring into another topic, may I say something that's relatable to what we're talking about? But
Sure.
all right. Can the wall between Breach and other communities be taken down, such as Prop Hunt in particular, since we're no longer waging wars and all this is kind of over?
Okay, so the perceived wall that was put up, and I say perceived because there in actuality there was no wall. What I will say is there is no segregation. Y'all are part of Last Bastion Gaming. Y'all can interact, be around anybody. But at this point, I'm gonna hand over to Sirius to deal with that, and then go on to Slack. So, Sirius, all yours.
Hi. Okay, so the decision to have Prop Hunt, TTT, and Dark RP avoid shenanigans, co-shenanigans with SCP, CWRP, and ARMA. It's not just SCP. Is to all three servers are linked to the HIP. So if they start doing dumb stuff, or a director says something dumb, or a developer for one of the three servers does something dumb, it makes all three of our orphanage, servers look really bad. So in an effort to keep my guys out of trouble and keep you guys away from the trouble causers, because they are a bit rowdy some days, they're on timeout for a little bit. So you guys aren't getting punished. They are. It's a temporary thing. They'll be allowed to come out of their corner pretty soon here. It's just until everything blows over. And I'm confident that they're not going to say something dumb or try and, I don't know, send weird letters to people.
But everything has blown over. There's nothing presently going on. So essentially, what he's saying is that there is no wall. There's no segregation.
Yeah.
Feel free to interact.
Okay.
Just a quick question.
What's up?
Who exactly is getting punished at the moment?
Oh, so my guys are supposed to avoid just doing staff stuff with you guys. They're able to do social stuff. They're able to hop on your servers and play games with you guys. They're able to play whatever those weird online group games with cards are. All that shit. That's completely fine. It's just they're supposed to avoid any kind of like outside of chain of communication shenanigans. So. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to kind of clarify something, the reason why I keep referring to them as my guys is those three directors. I'm supposed to kind of act as a buffer for them. That's the position I'm in. So that's why I keep referring to them like that, because half the time I'm having to buffer for them. So.
I understand.
Yeah.
So generally, social communication is okay though.
Yeah, that's completely fine.
Just no staff-related material in discussion.
As long as it stays within our normal junk, like
yeah, that's fine. I understand.
Community meeting. Let's talk. That's the normal stuff.
Gotcha. Cool.
Cool. Any other questions on that topic?
Nope.
Okay, cool. So let's move on to Slack. You'll notice my name is Slackius. It's pretty great. Slack is essentially a all-in-one communication system. In an emergency, we can set up Slack to be used like Discord. In an emergency, we can set up Slack to be used like TeamSpeak. That means voice channels. That means we can also use Slack like we can use for. Okay, sorry, I'm getting Slack notifications about WhatsApp. We can integrate everything and anything, including the website RSS feeds like Steam groups. We have Steam relays in there. There's a whole bunch of shenanigans in there that are similar to that of Discord. The best thing about it is really just the fact that it can send you emails. It's just to be like, hey, you missed a bunch of notification. Check your notifications, and then you'll be notified. Kind of like how the forums works when you receive a message. So it's multifunctional. I've dropped the link in chat a couple times. If you're already added to the SCP channel, you can invite other people that have already joined Slack to the SCP channel by doing @ their name, and then you just press enter. It'll be like, are you sure you want to invite them? Hit yes, and then invite them to join, and then they'll automatically join. You can do channel announcements with @channel, so if there's something important like, hey, did the server just restart, or what just happened to the TeamSpeak, or does anybody want to play CSGO? @channel will get you there. We use the general channel for announcements. That's how we're going to reach out to you from the executive level to tell you, hey, we're restarting the server, or hey, we need some help on blank server. We want to get the population up on it for some reason. So hopefully it will be a easy switch for you guys. And if you have any questions on how to use it, or something that you feel is missing from one of the other chat systems that you are already using, we can integrate it. I mean, there's Google Hangout integrations, WhatsApp integrations into Slack. So like you can literally have yourself logged into Slack and then have Slack log into those other accounts, and then it'll just have all of them show up from the same people. So it's pretty nifty. So
I have a question.
what's up?
So I'm a little familiar with Slack, and is this where you purchase to use it, or is it the free version? But once we reach the cap
Web-based.
limit,
It's web-based.
This is
web-based?
So
Yeah.
this is a currently free one. We're on a free team right now. If we reach the point where we need to go to pay, I already have enough credit, because every single time you guys join it for the very first time, we get like $50 of credit. So we've got
Alright.
right now a big old stack of cash, Slack cash. So we'll buy any and all integrations we need, or even upgrade the team so we have all the nifty extra things we don't already have.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Hey,
Hey. Is there anybody in here currently that isn't in Slack? Or okay, better question. Anyone that's already in Slack, can you see someone that's in here that isn't in Slack? Because if you can, poke them and get them in there, because they need to be. They need to be. Pretty please.
We can't choose to opt out of this.
It's kind of our biggest form of communication. There's really no reason to opt out of it.
We can't just
as well.
continue to use
I'm not in
TeamSpeak
Slack.
when we
I
want to
never want to
moderate.
touch it.
Well, you can use TeamSpeak. This is just like a. This is another way for us to reach out to you. Even if you don't check what we send you on Slack, you'll get an email telling you, hey, something's going on, and you'll be like, oh, I'll go check that one thing I usually check. You'll hop on TeamSpeak, and then something will be going on. Or we can set up something else to make it easier for you to find out where all the information is, because we can actually pin stuff there and have it always there, like the Constitution. If you lost the link, oh, I'll just go Slack because I know it's always going to be there, or I'll go check the forums because it's always going to be there. It's just a matter of preference, and as long as we have one channel of communication that is concrete, and then multiple other secondary channels of communication, that's completely fine. I mean, you can continue to use WhatsApp, Discord, Hangout, whatever, on a personal level, but we need Slack. If there's a better alternative, we're completely open to switching over to it. So, as well.
Okay.
But pretty please join. Thank you. Any other questions? unrelated to Slack, related to Slack?
I mean, the only question I can ask is already in Slack.
Haha. Okay, cool. Sully, your turn.
I was going to say Platinum. I know you're not currently staff, but I did invite you here to make any sort of decision as to if you wanted to remain that way. And you are also invited to ask questions as all the other staff are. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't holding you back at all.
No, it's good. I know. Thank you.
All right. Did we have any questions from everybody else about the other topics, non-Slack related? Questions, comments, or concerns about where we're going and how we're going to get there?
No.
Church, did you have anything you'd like to bring up?
But yeah, both of y'all are done. I guess we can conclude. In conclusion, I just want to say a couple of things. Things are gonna change a bit. I can't lie. I'm not going to lie to you and say, hey, it's gonna be the same thing you've been dealing with for the last however long. However, my goal is to ensure that it doesn't change to the point where you no longer feel like it's what you joined. My goal here is to improve on what is already existing and make it better, make it more efficient, make everybody feel comfortable. That's my main goal, is to make sure you all are comfortable, while at the same time we ensure that the environment, the server itself, is functional and able to contribute to the rest of the community in a healthy way. So Badgerlock, I think you wanted to say something.
Oh yeah. I understand that things are gonna change. No doubt in my mind. I mean, like 4 staff members that were high ranked just fucking resigned. But I hope that we can attempt to rebuild things as if it were under the same mentality. Maybe a healthier mentality, but I hope we can build it under the same mentality that Breach was under.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, to be honest, the mentality of the server is dependent on you, the staff team. It's not dependent on me. It's not dependent on Servius. It is not. Why? Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be the one sitting there every single day, all of the day, to tell you all, hey, you're gonna think like this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. The mentality is really up to you all.
Yeah, no.
And that is something that you all have already formed. You all have already built a family. I'm not gonna come here to tell you, well, we're gonna do this differently now. Here's how we're gonna do that. Here's how we're gonna do this. At the end of the day, unfortunately, there are things that we're gonna have to change. Some you might not agree on immediately. Some you might like. Some you might have wanted from before. What I will say is that if at any point in time you feel like I've done, or the executive staff team has done something that makes you feel uncomfortable, that you don't like, that you don't agree with, that makes you want to leave, that pissed you off, please, before you act, before you draw a conclusion, before you write us off, before you say, hey, I'm done with this shit, come to me personally, privately, reach out, say, hey, this happened today, you said this, you did this today, I didn't like it. I just wanted to know why. Or I just wanted to say to you that I didn't like it, and you could tell me, what the fuck were you thinking? Let's talk about it. If at the end of that conversation, after having been open-minded on both ends, you still don't agree, then fine, we would come to a solution, right? What it means, the executive staff team, have to change a decision that was made to please the majority, or you may need to just accept something that has happened. We will come to a conclusion, a compromise per se, because at the end of the day, everybody in here has a different personality. Everybody here has morals, things that they like, things that they don't like, and we will not all agree. Just don't think that it's either you agree or you don't agree. There is a middle ground. And here's my Steam profile, my personal. Add me. If at any point in time there's anything that comes up, because I will be around, I will be taking care of everything that needs to be taken care of for Beach. if there's anything that comes up that you all feel like you should bring to my attention, you just want to ask a question, anything at all, feel free to send a message. That way I know if, let's say for example, Sylvius gets pissed at me, he sends a message to talk about something, and I ignored it, then I could say, well, he reached out and I didn't deal with it, so that's why he's pissed, you know? I wouldn't have to say, well, he heard this from somebody else, who heard it from somebody else, who heard it from a player, that had this happen and he's pissed off and he decided to act on it. I just want you all to understand that.
No, the answer is respectable. Thank you.
Yeah. Exactly. Secondhand information is, if it is, I don't believe in secondhand information. I believe if I have a problem with you, I will confront you and address that problem. And then after we've addressed it, if we choose to not like each other after, then it would have been based on first-hand information. So at this point, I actually don't have very much to say again, other than here's the Chief Administrative Officer, Hotshot. Hotshot, you have anything you wanted to say quickly?
Yes. One quick thing. No service.
You're cutting off a lot.
Make sure you do follow the team secrets. That's all I can say.
Alright, so Hotshot will be helping us with the rosters, he'll be helping us with the website, content, Steam group, a lot of the, well, administrative stuff as we went through. So that's what is going on. Now, as we spoke about earlier, the recruitment and the other branches of staff, we are going to be revising some of it. Those of you who wish to be recruiters, what else do I see here? Community affairs manager, complaints, appeals, all the different things that's listed. Whether you acknowledge the fact that there's a cap or not, just let me know what you're interested in personally. Whether you just joined, whether you've been here for a while and already are in something, just let me know that you're interested in so and so. This is what you're focused on, and we'll go from there. Now, I would prefer if you all are going to be messaging me, especially for things of this nature, that you either do it over Slack or Steam. I tend to get a shit of TeamSpeak messages. It doesn't save, so I don't consider it an official medium of communication. So for those of you who might have attempted in the past to contact me through through TeamSpeak, sorry, you know, I just had my Steam profile. Let's use that. So yeah, that's it. Any questions on anything at all that was talked about today?
As a lower level staff, is there anything you want us to do differently, or just keep carrying on our everyday lives as normal?
Okay, so as soon as we get the communication line going, so that I could get messages flowing back and forth from the staff team to myself and vice versa, I want to have a meeting with the different levels of staff. So I'll be talking to the trial moderator specifically at a certain point, the moderator specifically, senior moderator specifically, the senior admin, super if we have any. I'll speak to the different levels of staff individually, because you all would have different concerns, right? You all would have been experiencing different things, and you all would have different concerns. So I want to be able to address those concerns and basically make sure you all know, you know, what's really going on, specific to your position. So to answer your question, I'm going to be briefing you all in depth on everything that you might have questions about ASAP.
And again, don't forget, I do have several promotions to do at the conclusion of this meeting.
Yeah, I think I'm done there. If
All
there's
right.
any other questions at all, it would be based on the availability of the different levels of staff. Again, the first thing we need to do is be able to talk. So, you know, at this point, I don't have 90% of you on Steam. I have no way to get through to you all collectively unless you all join the Slack ASAP. You know, that might be, or it will be the best way actually, if everybody just joins the Slack and let's just focus on having that. Because at the end of the day, I have to keep abreast with 5 different servers or 6 different servers and the entire staff team of those 6 different servers. If I could do that all in one place, that would be great. Yes, please.
I just joined up.
Okay, lovely. Thank you for that. So I know some of you might hate Slack. I hate it. I'll be freaking honest. I hate Slack with a passion. I don't see the need for
That's
it.
awful, but
But at the end of the day, it's where everybody is right now.
It's awful,
And
but it works.
yeah, it works. Exactly. It's professional. It's very professional. It has a lot of customizability, a lot of integration. Something as simple as a document, like a Google Doc. If I were to send a Google Doc in the conversation, I could pin it and it would literally always be there. So if you want to find X document, you just go on the Slack, hit pin items, and you'll see all the important things integrated to Slack, ready to load, ready to be viewed. It's just one of the many things that Servius has taught me about Slack. I'm not going to take credit for it. But yeah, please just jump in ASAP and we'll schedule these meetings. But
And as
going
for
on
the
a level
recruitment
further,
process,
yeah.
as for the recruitment process, Church is gonna step in and try to train some of our senior and upper level staff, what's left of them in Breach, on how to do the recruitment and interviews. We got to get some interviews scheduled. Basically, how we'll structure that is we'll have Church sit in on the interview and give the people he's training guidance as to what questions to ask and things like that. And obviously, since Church doesn't have all of the basic knowledge of Breach background that you guys may have as being proud Breach family members for a while now, and Last Bastion members more importantly, you'll be able to, make a more fully advised decision whether to hire that person or not. So with that said, if Church doesn't have anything else, I'll start announcing the promotions.
Yeah.
hey,
go ahead,
Ripper, I have a quick question as well.
Okay.
You consider the list that I sent you?
I will take whatever advisements that you guys have to offer into consideration. So, starting at the bottom of the list, if your name is called, you will be promoted to the next rank. I've already done most of these lower ones. So we have Spooky Wizard. I've noticed you've been doing a really great job. So I've went ahead and promoted you to moderator. I hope you continue with that. Your rank has already been assigned to you in the server and on the website. Also, before I continue, if your name is not mentioned currently, it does not mean that it will not happen either later on today or tomorrow. It's just if I'm doing a lot of promotions, it's a lot of work.
Joined your channel.
Expert Wizard, very nice of you to join us. When did you come?
Please don't.
Wait, say that again?
Just now.
I just was noting that you had joined the channel. Did you just now join?
Oh yeah, I was busy, and then I saw this.
Okay. So, gonna promote Spooky Wizard, Corgi, and Biohacker, and Pope Kaiser. All of the names I just mentioned are now moderators. You guys have been working really hard and deserve it.
Congratulations, boys.
Servius already joined up.
Congratulations, my dudes.
The
Thanks.
training with your new abilities will need to take place very shortly today so that we can train you how to use your new powers, which mainly consists of the no clipping ability. So I can just briefly tell you that I should not see you no clipping around my server without being cloaked. To ensure that does not happen, please use the !admin command and the !unadministrate. You have to actually spell it out when you want to turn it off to uncloak and un-no-clip yourself with one easy to use command. So I'll just type the commands below.
Alright, sounds good.
Those are your two commands.
Joined your channel.
That will allow you to guard yourself, no-clip, and semi-cloak yourself to do what needs to be done, whether it's fixing the elevators or what have you. If any of these powers are abused with your new promotion, they can easily be reversed, or you can easily be let go from the staff team altogether. So with great promotion comes great responsibility. I have several more promotions to do at the moderator level, of which I have not done yet. As far as, can you please either record or not record, please?
Every
It's
time
really
somebody
annoying.
joins the channel, that happens actually.
Ah.
Yeah, it says
Why
that.
are we getting all these other people?
I don't know. It's
This
just
is-
basically
They
to let
probably
the
see all the people here at once.
yeah, it's basically just to let the person that joins know that somebody's reading. So I'm sorry to
Okay.
hear it. Yeah.
All right, so Hit, you are going to be promoted to admin. I know you just got back, but we feel that that is a just decision. Kenny as well, and where was the last one? We have some moderators that needs promotions as well. Duran and Alex would be promoted to senior moderators. Now, if I can't remember your name, I need to assign you guys the permissions next. So just come to me. I need to make sure if you had VIP, you get the VIP or get the V at the end of your name because I can't recall everybody who had it and didn't have it.
Wait, who's being prodded?
Ron or Dingus?
As far as moderators are concerned,
User joined
the
your channel.
promotions would be Alex and Duran. As far as who's being promoted from senior moderator to admin, that would be Hit and Kenny.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations, everyone.
So does that also mean that later today or tomorrow you'll be listing a new set of promotions?
The possibility is very, very high. I'm not going to tell you for sure, so don't keep bugging me about it. I have a lot of work to do just doing a lot of promotions right now. With all of these promotions comes a gap in our ranks at the bottom. So we need to get to these applications and start getting these interviews scheduled. Platinum, Expert, is there anything you guys would like to say? I know you guys both, Expert, you joined late. Did you have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to bring to our attention?
Not really. You Plat?
Not really.
Alrighty.
Oh wait, I have a question. Why is fucking Badger still here?
Why not?
Cause I'm good.
It's kind of about to end.
And is Nikki gonna get kicked out for what he's doing to all the whole thing, Ripper, or what?
What?
Excuse me?
Being MIA?
Is Nikki getting kicked out for what he's doing?
Nikki has basically gone MIA. His perms have been removed from the server, and if he does decide to add someone back, then that's his choice, and we would address it at that point.
All right.
So I'll go ahead and edit the roster now, get that taken care of. I see some non-staff in here. Caden Games, I'm going to move you out.
User was moved out of your channel.
There we
When
go.
did you get back from your cruise?
Yesterday. Alright guys, I have some promotions to do at the top level obviously, but we're going to take that one step at a time. Positions are earned, not given. Don't expect anybody to be seeing with a director title anytime soon, but as Church said, surprises may happen, but it's up to me ultimately, and I'm not going to see anybody just be given a rank that they would most likely not deserve at this point. There's a pretty big shoes that need to be filled, obviously, so it's going to be a lot of hard work on the part of all of my breach staff members and Last Bastion in general. Any questions, comments, or concerns from anybody at this point? I'd like to go ahead and start wrapping up the meeting. I know it's already been about an hour now. Wouldn't want to take up any more of your guys' time.
Yeah, I have something to ask.
Yes, sir.
Many members are members of the community are PMing me about they apparently some admins or staff members told them that using the nuke function, the map, is not allowed. Is that an actual thing or what?
The map was updated so nobody knows what the Easter egg for the nuke is, and if you do know it, then more power to you.
Who the heck is telling the poor guys
I
to use
did.
that?
I did when I was head admin.
If it starts getting
Oh, God.
spammed though, Is it safe
I
to,
haven't
like,
seen it have been discovered yet,
It's very
so
unlikely
right
to be
now
spammed.
it's safe because
It's
nobody
been
even knows
discovered.
what it is on the new map.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I only
think
told a
3
few
people
Ah.
people
know it.
about this. I'm like the first one to discover this. And
If
everybody I told.
if
is-
That's
people
a
start
development.
spamming it, if people start spamming it, this is what I entitled when I was at admin. People start spamming it, people find out what it was. You warn them, and if they do it again, just ban them.
As far as that goes, what we will be doing to
I was
address
saying-
that is more of a development question, so we'll get that addressed via
I think
development.
it's
He just brought
unlikely
the
to get
ban
spammed that
hammer.
much. It's really hard to do.
Actually, we already addressed it with the previous map, and we will just need to update it for the new Easter egg is all we will need to do.
Another thing. I notice many staff members here are not aware of the administrate command, and sometimes it does uncloak and stop no clipping, but they're still stuck on God mode.
You should just type exclamation point on God then.
It should be in my
Yeah.
ULX guide. Have you not read it?
No, apparently some of the staff members are not aware of it. I noticed this when I tried to kill one of the staff members, and he just didn't die, and I was
Yeah.
confused.
I will link you to the guide, which is very helpful.
Yep. Okay. I think we're
Yeah,
We're good to go to
good?
wrap
Yeah,
up
we're
this
about
meeting. So if any of you guys need to go, now's the time. If you guys have any questions that you would like to
User
talk to me,
disconnected from
Church,
your
or any of the
channel.
other senior staff members in private, please let us know.
Executives
Actually,
away.
if I could, the all senior moderators plus, if y'all could hang back 10 minutes extra, that would be cool. Maybe less than 10 minutes,
Sure,
5
I'm
minutes.
fine.
There's
Yeah.
the link to the guide.
Sully, I need you for like a second.
Alright,